I don't think pleasure has ever gotten me anywhere. Through my 4 years of self-improvement, spending time in the gym, building a business, a YouTube, something out of my own life, with the dream and thought of going forward and propelling myself to be a superior version of myself. To not BS you, I really think I've never gained anything out of pleasure. I'm Maxwell, and I teach young men self-improvement. And to get right into this, and to discard the people that say, I just want to have the most fun, I think's just nothing but a psyop. As a young man, of course you can say that I can have fun. I can have fun from addiction, from chasing girls, from video games, from drugs and alcohol, from scrolling. And I'm not saying you can't have any fun. But when you change your perspective and realize fulfillment is more, it outweighs the pleasure. And as pleasure, we will define as short-term gratifications, instant gratifications to say, the ones that are the instant dope, the instant hit of the fun drug, dopamine. You get it every time you scroll on your phone, every time you play a video game, every time you listen to your favorite song. And it disrupts your chemical balance in your own body. Why do you think you get so meek and tired at the end of the day, but in the morning you're so eager to grab your phone? Because that shit resets. But as a young man, I realized that I can find pleasure and enjoyment from hardship. I have more fun when I'm in the gym crushing weights, and that's not just a subjective thing. It's because when you remove the things that you actually kind of hate, and if you're anything like me, you do dislike when you look at your phone and you realize you've been on it 8 hours a day. Most of it's fucking Instagram or YouTube or some type of addiction. Chasing that fulfillment and having this lifestyle, this idea of, oh, I just want to have the most fun is immature. It's a child's perspective. I have fun when I build my business, when I do things that are actually a little gritty, because it becomes fulfillment. You could climb a mountain, and yeah, it's gonna suck. It's gonna take 5 miles. And you need to drink some water and bring some snacks and prep, and your feet hurt and your shins start to shake. And you're sweating or you're freezing, and you look down upon that mountain and you say, I claimed it. And you feel fulfilled, you feel accomplished. That outweighs the comfort of pleasure. And to continue off of my original statement that I don't think I ever enjoyed actual pleasure, it's gotten me nowhere. Because when you change your perspective and realize that there's so much more to life, that you can actually improve yourself and change the world for a better, or have a purpose, a reason to live that is not just sitting there and sucking up pleasure, and you change your perspective, you realize the hours that you spent relaxing or recharging of you on your phone just scrolling after work or school, it was a waste. And you slap yourself around and you start to hate it. And you say, I actually want something in my life, because I lived a world of pleasure. And it led me to suicidal thoughts. I was 15 years old, and for like 3 years, I spent all my time just playing video games, watching anime, watching porn, eating junk food, 12, 14 hours a day on electronic. And that drove me insane, because it was chasing something that never can get fulfilled. And you can argue purpose never gets fulfilled. I don't know, because I'm still chasing it. But with pleasure, it leaves a hit that you want to take a bigger and bigger and bigger one. But discipline, it can become addictive. It can become fun. And instead of leaving you drained, wanting more, it leaves you fulfilled, wanting more. Because when I got into weight training and self-improvement, and I got my first ever pump in the gym, I thought, dude, I could build something out of this. I could get in the best shape ever. When I made my first YouTube video and got a few views, I thought, what if I got 1,000,000? What if I got 1,000? When I made some money online, I thought, what if I could make some more? What if I become the best version of myself that's so good at articulating and portraying himself through conversation? That becomes your new addiction, and that gets you somewhere. So you ask Maxwell, that's great. How can this actually be implemented in my life, and not just a change of perspective? And we will start with the change of mindset. Understanding pleasure as something that is draining and gets us nowhere in life, because we want to be productive young men that get what we want, chase the dreams, get the women, get the money, the purpose, the brotherhood. To have an idea like that, we must understand everything that is not taking a step forward is useless to us. Every time you find yourself scrolling on your phone, you must snap out of it. Whether it's after an hour of scrolling, then it will become 35, then it will become 50, and then you realize you just pick up your phone, and then you're like, oh, that's a form of addiction, that I'm so used to picking up my phone and scrolling Instagram or whatever that you just put it down. And then after hours or a long time, you actually defeat the bad habit because you've been doing it for so long, it's built up. So we change the perspective of, we want progress and we don't need certain pleasures. It's always nice to have a time, but I like to be extreme. I think if I'm going to enjoy myself, it's going to be maybe like a month out of summer next year. I just want to lock in. So we have this perspective change of, all right, we're going to just make sure everything that is pleasurable, that we're addicted to, like the video games, the wasting our time on our phones, the drugs, the addictions, the friends, they're technically bad for us because they're not bringing us closer to the dream we actually want. Second is journaling. If you don't constantly remind yourself of this, you will inevitably fail, because you're going up against an addiction that has been in your life for years. It was so hard for me to quit and change my life that I actually had to be so suicidal that I needed a giant push to change and realize that I could never go back to that stuff. And that was after 3 years of being addicted to that stuff. And even now, I feel like I need to journal more. And it is putting down your thoughts and untangling it into a piece of paper and constantly reminding yourself that I'm on a mission. This is what I do and this is what I don't do. And then you start to believe, you start to remind yourself every time you pick up your phone, every time you try to beat the pleasure, that it's just something you don't do. When you relapse, you think, oh, fuck yeah, I don't do this stuff. Come on, I'm over it. And journaling is the perfect example to set your frame for the day, for the next day, to actually accomplish something. If you don't journal, you will never make the progress. It's like going to the gym and saying you're bulking, but you don't track your calories. Yeah, you might be able to get something out of it, but you will only be more successful if you journal. Just untangle your thoughts and constantly write down the life that you want to live, the actions you're going to do to get towards it, and the things you're going to cut out of your life. I did it right before making this YouTube video. I guess my third point, this might be my last, see what I come off the dome, is the discipline. No matter how hard it is rewarding. Setting that progress and seeing it be accomplished. It's so much better than just rotting there. To actually go out and realize one day you ran a mile with 10 minutes, then it's 6 minutes, then it's 5, it's whatever. Is the discipline is actually such a rewarding thing, and you need that structure. So when you're on this journey, you need to set up barricades against your habits, against your addictions, and you need to set foundation and enjoy it. Because I rather have the pain of discomfort, the pain of growth, over the pain of looking back and saying I could have been something. Because that's the real thing, is you have to choose your pain. That's the third step, is choose the pain that you have in life. Because I heard a quote this morning, now I might paraphrase it, but there's people in this life who really want to live, and there's people that don't. They don't want to go through the struggle and the pain of life. And to that, I say let them die. Because only those that are willing to truly conquer life and go through the struggle are worth living. So you choose the pain of eventually realizing that you're escaping when you sit there with your bag of chips, watching some television, or the pain of you waking up at 5 in the morning, going on a run, coming back home, showering in ice cold water, working on your business, hitting the gym, doing all these disciplined things that are only gonna change your life. And change fucking hurts. So go out there and get your mind right. Journal, set the frame, and realize, what would you rather have? A life of pleasure? Or you can go build a life that when you finally kick your feet up, if you ever don't stop being addicted to the discipline, then you can enjoy something that is 10 times more. A beach in Thailand, surrounded by tens. Dubai, wherever you want. That is only built by hard work. So like and subscribe, comment down below, and I'll see you on the next video.